اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. اللهم صل على محمد.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. In the name of God, the most gracious, the most merciful, peace be upon each and every single one of you and the mercy of God. I would love to ingratiate all of you with my gratitude for coming here for our Islamic Foundation's Interfaith and Outreach Committee, as well as our Civic Engagement Committee's Meet the Candidates, Your Voice, Your Vote event. Thank you so much for coming out with us tonight. To start off, I would like to invite our very own Masjid's Sheikh Nasser Hussain to come and recite some verses from Surah Al-Ahzab, ayahs number 70 to 73.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله وقولوا قولا سديدا يصلح لكم أعمالكم ويغفر لكم ذنوبكم، ومن يطع الله ورسوله فقد فاز فوزا عظيما. إنا عرضنا الأمانة على السماوات والأرض والجبال. إنا عرضنا الأمانة على السماوات والأرض والجبال فأبين أن يحملنها وأشفقن منها وحملها الإنسان إنه كان ظلوما جهولا. إنا عرضنا الأمانة على السماوات والأرض والجبال فأبين أن يحملنها وأشفقن منها وحملها الإنسان إنه كان ظلوما جهولا. ليعذب الله المنافقين والمنافقات والمشركين والمشركات ويتوب الله على المؤمنين والمؤمنات وكان الله غفورا رحيما. صدق الله العظيم.
Takbir.
To give you the translation for the beautiful ayahs that he recited. O you who have believed, fear Allah and speak words of appropriate justice. He will then amend for you your deeds and forgive you your sins. And whoever obeys Allah and His Messenger has certainly attained a great attainment. Indeed, we offered the trust to the heavens and the earth and the mountains, and they declined to bear it and feared it, but man undertook to bear it. Indeed, he was unjust and ignorant. So it was that Allah may punish the hypocrite men and the hypocrite women, and the men and women who associate others with Him, and that Allah may accept repentance from the believing men and believing women. And ever forgiving is Allah, the most forgiving, most merciful. Now, my name is Amina Aziz. We have invited these wonderful and esteemed candidates who are running for our community to be part of the changes that we hope to see in the near future, for us to be able to come and get to know them, and to be able to have a hand in deciding not only what our futures will hold, but also what our future children will have to face based off the policies that we get to hear about that these candidates are going to enact for us as they partake in the elections. I'd like to make sure that each and every single one of you are aware that there are going to be cards and pens provided for you, so that as you're listening to everybody speak, there are questions you are going to have, and hopefully we'll be able to have the time to have each of these candidates respond to them, if time permits for each and every single one of us. We would also like to thank the Islamic Foundation Board for allowing us to hold this non-partisan Meet the Candidates event, and we would like to thank each and every single one of you candidates for being here with us today and for allowing us to have this little meet and greet and the ability to ask you all of our very deep questions. I would also like to say thank you so much to each and every one of you for taking your time out of this busy weekday to be here with us, and don't forget to vote up until April 1st. That's going to be your last day. The rest of our program will continue with a 3-minute introduction from each of our candidates here, as well as having the village's races a little bit more described to us, and having a bit of a Q&A session, as I mentioned, with those cards that you're going to be given. Think about what you want to see from the candidates that you're voting for, and think about the position that they hold. Because while we may feel completely helpless in whether it be the presidential election and what all happens that makes the news every single day, we do have a hand and a say in what our general village and township elections do hold. So get to know these people, hear what they have to say, and get a chance for your voice to be heard through your vote. Now I'd like to introduce Brother Junaid. Brother Junaid will be our MC for this evening, and he is somebody that we are very glad to have here tonight, as he is not only a lifetime member of the Islamic Foundation community, but he is also a very prominent social activist, part of several relief organizations. He is also a tech entrepreneur, and he himself ran for Congress in 2022. So please give us a hand in welcoming Brother Junaid.
Thank you, Sister Amina. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah, everyone. Good evening, candidates, visitors. Thank you for taking the time to be here today. Before I start, we cannot thank the Islamic Foundation enough. First of all, for being the organization for us, where some of us grew up here, now our kids grow up here. My daughter is in a competition with the Islamic Foundation School right now. She should be back here in the next 30 minutes. So this is what we call home. I've moved about 40 minutes away from here, but I'm back here just about almost every day. So this is home for us, very dear to all of our hearts. I'd like to start by recognizing our board members here from Islamic Foundation. If I can request all of you to please take a moment to stand up. If I can ask Brother Kaleem, Dr. Yusuf Chaudhry, Brother Salim Sheikh, Brother Tanvir Malik Bhai, thank you so much for all the services that you do. Thank you for allowing these programs to flourish at Islamic Foundation.
Thank you.
With that, we will jump right into the program. As usual, we are a few minutes behind. 7:30 is a hard stop for us, just so you know, because the prayer starts at 7:30. that means a minute or two before we will have to finish. There could be a call to prayers that could interrupt us for another couple of minutes here. So I will be very polite, but very stringent on time. So we will be giving 3 minutes each to every candidate. I was going to go alphabetical order, but I thought it would be easier if I start from right to next to me here. We will go with Villa Park first, then we will go to Lombard candidates. Then let me go ahead and get started right here to my left. Kevin Patrick, if you could take 3 minutes or less and introduce yourself, please. Thank you.
Hello everybody, I am Kevin Patrick and I am running for Village President of Village Park. I'd like to first off start off by thanking the Islamic Foundation for hosting this event, and a special thank you to Naz from the Interfaith and Outreach Committee for inviting me to the MLK Unity Breakfast in January. Thank you. I only have 3 minutes to share with you why I believe I am the right choice for Village President. I could mention things like I've been a resident for 30 years, that I met my wife at Jefferson Middle School, that I graduated from Willowbrook High School, I'm a proud military veteran, I have 3 young kids in the school district, and I'm currently the most senior trustee on the village board. But instead, I want to share a personal story that taught me the true value of diversity, equity, and inclusion, values I promise to uphold in our community. In 2008, when I was deployed to Iraq, I spent my final 2 months on an oil platform 12 miles off the coast of Iran. My role was to train a group of Iraqi Marines to defend the platform from potential threats. When we weren't busy doing our duties, we were probably fishing and getting used to one another and learning about one another. Before my deployment, I took an introduction to Arabic course at COD, learning a few key phrases that ended up being incredibly useful on the platform. There, I met a friend known as Gonzo. Over time, Gonzo and I shared stories about our very different lives and discussed Islam and culture openly. And this was at a time when Islamophobia was common, and our conversation showed me that regardless of who you pray to, God or Allah, that we all believe in a greater good. Our differences became a source of strength and understanding. And on my last day on the platform, Gonzo gave me a set of prayer beads. Okay? And he taught me the prayer and its meaning. Alhamdulillah. Subhanallah. Allah Akbar. And although I'm not Muslim, I've kept this gift in my pocket every day since I got them in 2008. And to me, it's a daily reminder that embracing diversity, equity, and inclusion only makes our bond stronger. As your next village president, I promise to champion these values so that way every person in Village Park feels welcomed and respected. And I humbly ask for your vote on April 1st. I want to thank you for your time and considering me, Kevin Patrick, as your next village president.
Thank you, Kevin. Next, I said I'll go left and then right, but the same office that's addressed that first, Jorge Cordova is the next candidate who's running for Village Park president. Jorge, please.
Thank you. All right, so good evening, everyone. I'm Jorge Cordova, and I'm honored to be here tonight as candidate for village president of Village Park. For nearly 16 years, my wife and I have proudly called Village Park home. We're raising our 3 children here, all of whom attend District 45. And like many of you, I see you in the neighborhoods and the community. We spent countless hours coaching football, soccer, volunteering at school programs and events, dropping the kids off at band and orchestra, practice, socials, and working alongside neighbors to support our community. And that's whether at Cortese, catching up with families, or participating in PTA events, or seeing residents enjoying our new rec center, I know firsthand how special this community is and how special this village is. That's why I'm running, to ensure Village Park continues to be a place where families and residents alike can thrive. I've been serving our community for over a decade now, first as a member of our Parks and Recreation Committee, as both a member and a chairperson, and now as a trustee. And during my time as a trustee, and essentially my entire time here in Village Park, I've done quite a few things, and one of the big things is working to improve transparency, advocating for smart financial decisions, and ensuring our continued growth of responsible growth. One of the projects that we've had in Village Park lately, and just this year, was the opening of our rec center. It's a major investment. It's a benefit to all of ages of people that are in our community, and it's proof more than anything that when we prioritize long-term improvement through planning, we can create real value for our community. And beyond public service, I had to check this today, and it's kind of a little jarring, but I've had 20 years in my professional career as a senior leadership with experience in marketing and business strategy. So leading large teams and managing multi-million-dollar budgets. I've spent my career on solving challenges, driving collaboration, and making data-driven decisions. All skills that are essential to running a village like Village Park. And we deserve leadership in Village Park that thinks ahead, takes action, and puts our residents first. Not politics, not personal agendas, but real solutions for the community. And my priorities are pretty clear. I have 30 seconds. But number one, transparency and accountability. Number two, supporting our small business growth. Village Park should be a place where small businesses are welcomed and given every opportunity to succeed. Local businesses create jobs, they strengthen our economy, and improve our quality of life. And third, and most importantly, is our public safety, our infrastructure. We need to continue our investment in roads, sidewalks, trees alike, as those are a reflection of our community. So I'm out of time. I appreciate it, and hopefully we can get some more dialogue today. Thank you.
Thank you, Jorge. Deepa will go to you next. I'm a politician. I'm itching to speak, but I will not, I promise.
Yeah, I'll give it to Deepa.
Hi, my name is Deepa Kumar. I'm a professor at Northwestern University. I have been on the board for 4 years, and I have a lot of empathy for our community in general, Daisy community in general. I'm going to rewind a little bit to a story, the story of my marriage. I had a typical arranged marriage in Chennai. My family set us up, and my grandfather was a Gandhian type of person, very, very open, very positive. My grandmother was grumpy, always, always grumpy. She was at the wedding, not the happiest of person, never a positive person. So imagine my shock at my wedding, which I knew no one. My dad invited everybody was invited. It's a typical Indian wedding. And my grandfather's civil service buddy, Rahman, walks in, one hand, he was over 90. In his hand was a gift for me, and on the other hand was a cane. I can never forget that moment because the person who ran to him was my grandmother. She ran there and she said, "Bhaiya, you have come. I never expected you to make it." And I have never seen my grandmother crack a smile. That's a friendship. And that's the kind of friendship that the Islamic Foundation has with Village Park. A friendship that allows foundation members to reach out when they have concerns and receive answers. It's the type of friendship that allows community members to flood a hall to ask to craft a temporary ceasefire agreement for Gaza. I learned a lot and gained a tremendous amount of perspective from that process. So when there was a variance across the way from the Islamic Foundation to request a very large tower that may have posed a danger to who I consider family in my Village Park town that I grew in, I, of course, voted no. And I will continue to do this. Growing up, we had to go to Devon for anything Daisy, and a lot of you understand that. The changing diversity of Villa Park and the business community has made it a lot more easier. I can find things just walking there. I'm saddened that unlike Lombard, and I know there are Lombard trustees here, that we don't have a flourishing bubble tea place or a nice chai baba in town. I really want them just to come our way also. Please expand, my friends. Since I got elected to office, there have been great changes in Villa Park, including changes in management, the opening of a Villa Park Recreation Center, the family-oriented repurposing of Lufkin Park, better communication, a strategic plan, and my new goal is to work hand in hand with family-friendly, diverse businesses, restaurants, grocers, stores, retailers, to fill the holes that have dotted our village town for years. I think leveraging the diversity of our town is the key to making this dream come true. If you live in Villa Park, I'd appreciate it if you'll vote for me for trustee. Together, let's keep Villa Park growing together. Thank you, and salam alaikum.
Greg Mason.
Hi everyone, I'm Greg Mason, and I'm running for Village Trustee, and so this is my first time running, so I'm a new face to this campaign. So I'm a 16-year resident of the town. I moved here in 2008, first as a renter, actually over what is the old Mike's Beef Market at 90s Park, and then bought a house in 2010. So I started thinking about running last year and started getting more involved in just the local scene when the village was working on the comprehensive plan in the draft. Really wanted to see where the village was going, and thinking about how to get more involved was, and being a trustee was that way for me. Things that make me stand out as a candidate. I've been a leader in my job for the past 25 years in various roles. I've always had to work with different types of people. My background is in marketing and in IT, so anyone else, I think there's some other folks on this up here who are also working in tech. And when I think about what a trustee needs to do and think about doing a lot of its infrastructure, right? Like you need to lay the groundwork for the future, and you need to do it right the first time. And I really think about making strong decisions with a long-term plan in mind. And I've also had to work with folks with varying backgrounds and different opinions, and I often, especially working in IT, do not have the loudest voice in the room, but I have to make sure I work with everybody well. I've also been a leader in my church. I've been on that board on and off, probably for 15 of the 25 years I've been there. Also working with a pretty diverse group of folks and different voices. I've taken a break from that, actually just last year, so this is a good chance for me to branch out and serve in another way. So if elected as a trustee, please know that my goal would be to serve the community and nothing more than that. Like, I'm not looking for acclaim. I'm probably not going to be trying to get a lot of screen time or camera time. I really want to just serve Villa Park. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Greg. JP, please.
First off, thank you to the Islamic Foundation for hosting this event and inviting me here. My name is JP, but on the ballot you'll see my name is John JP Hakma. I have been serving as a commissioner on the Economic Development Commission for the past several years and a resident of Villa Park for almost 6 years now. I am married with 2 kids and attend the North Elementary School. I am currently a quality assurance engineer at DRW Holdings, so in tech, like others here. Which is a trading firm downtown Chicago, and I do have previous experience in various other industries like insurance, local business marketing, and the hospitality industry. With my varied experiences in having served as an economic development commissioner, I believe it makes me a strong candidate for the next board, especially with the timing of the comprehensive plan and the incredible work that was put into that. It is a plan that drastically increases the amount of residents and businesses that will be coming to Village Park, and this plan will require board members who can be proactive in attracting businesses on day one. To do that, we need to have a village that reaches out to local business entrepreneurs and provides them with predetermined areas for them to open up. And this is something I'm already working on. And with that, we need to streamline the permitting and licensing processes so business can have easier time to go from planning to open for business. I'm also working on setting up food truck festival and farmers market with the help of the Village Park Chamber of Commerce. I've also had experience serving in a board-like structure with my time on commission, so I am familiar with the process, procedure and research needed to make proper decisions. Besides my experiences, I'm also a family man who is also concerned with traffic and safety, adding more parks and amenities to the village to make it more destination town. When I moved here, Village Park was rated 8 for towns to raise a family in this country, and I would like to help keep it that way and improve upon it. And I hope it could also be true for Village Trustee of Village Park. Thank you.
Thank you, JP. Next up, Jack, please step up.
Bismillah. Thank you for this opportunity to be part of this forum. It brings me joy to see everybody here today and to get together. Many of you know me, but for those that don't, I'm Jack Kozar. I'm your current trustee, and I'm seeking re-election. I'm married to Karen. I am an attorney. I'm the previous owner of Fuel and Creme in town, and I'm a real estate broker. I've been involved with the Islamic Foundation for many years. I was first introduced to the foundation through my former associate attorney and still current friend, Sohaib Ahmed. Every time I'm here, I'm welcomed and shown kindness. Thank you for that. I have shared meals and celebrated iftars with you. I have volunteered my time to assist the new project and the future build-out of the funeral and wash area that's coming soon. I have volunteered my time on the annexation project and the expansion of this wonderful institution. I've talked with and shed tears with our friends when we put together the Gaza resolution and that we passed on our board. Amen to that. I have helped several members of the foundation to join village commissions, and I've gotten them involved in our government. I have prayed with some of you. I have participated in other events here and supported and believe in the mission of the Islamic Foundation. It's not just words, but in my actions. And this is why it brings me joy to see everybody come together today and have the foundation host this forum. It's my hope that this forum will create involvement and exposure and will spur others to want to run for office in Villa Park. And if you do, I will help you. I want to see the brothers and sisters of the Islamic Foundation stand tall and give voice to the members of this institution. This is one of my visions. A friend of mine said while we were working on the Gaza resolution, I want to feel safe in my identity. The truth of that statement is uncompromising human right that we all deserve. I have fought to make sure everybody is treated equally. I have made sure that all our meetings are recorded and made available. I have advocated for and implemented rules of procedures for the board, and fought and advocated for the same information to be shared so we can make good and informed decisions. I've worked to improve our permitting process, lowered fees, and cleaned up our village codes. As an attorney, I'm skilled at contracts and law. I am reasonable and moderate and will listen and advocate for you. I've been a trustee for almost 4 years. I have a proven record. If you feel it's right, I ask for your vote for me in the upcoming election. I ask that you reach out to your fellow friends and ask for a yard sign. Tell your friends, tell your neighbors. I believe I'm the most qualified person to be your trustee. But it's not up to me. We must do this together. Insha'Allah.
Thank you, Jack. Thank you for your service. Next up, Steve De La Rosa. Please step up.
Excuse me. Assalamu alaikum. Buenas noches. Good evening, everybody. May peace be upon you. My name is Steve De La Rosa, and I am a native-born Mexican and Native American who has lived in Chicagoland since 1952, in DuPage since 1986, and in Villa Park since 2001. I have always been drawn to helping others through my civic participation. I have been an elected Democratic Precinct Committee person. I have been elected twice to serve on the Villa Park Library Board through its upgrade and expansion. I serve on Illinois State Representative Diane Blair Sherlock's Immigration Advisory Committee. I was a 20-year board member of the Citizens Advocacy Center in Elmhurst. I volunteer my time and energy to Immigrant Solidarity DuPage and their work to support immigrants. Most recently, Immigrant Solidarity DuPage organizing halted the construction of a waste transfer station being permitted to operate in West Chicago, a minority-majority community. This is what I do. I work with local people to make our collective lives better. I understand how immigrants face hardships that white Americans do not. When the Muslim travel ban went into effect in 2017, I stood in solidarity with thousands of others who assembled at O'Hare to support the rights of Muslims to travel freely and to free 18 Muslim travelers. When the Muslim American community tried to gain permits for approval for a new mosque to be constructed in DuPage County, I, along with my First Church Lombard friends, stood with them, shoulder to shoulder, to advocate for their right to construct places of worship. I have shown you that I am a reliable representative for the common good. I stand firmly against those that want to divide us by discrimination and Islamophobia. I support our community's policies which promote diversity training and will hold accountable those who engage in hate crimes, and will continue to work with our law enforcement community to be responsive to the needs of the Muslim community. Please help me so I can help you. I need signs planted in yards, volunteers to walk precincts, and most importantly, your vote to get elected to the Villa Park Board of Trustees. Again, I'm Steve De La Rosa for Villa Park Trustee. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Steve. Next up, Gina Constatos.
Thank you. Good evening. I'd like to first say thank you to the Islamic Foundation for this opportunity and all of you for coming out here. Hello, my name is Tina Constatos, and I'm running to serve as a Villa Park Village Trustee for the first time as a resident of over 15 years. I own and operate with my husband a small business as an automotive repair and hot rod shop on the north side of town. This would make me the only in-town small business owner sitting on the board. I have seen many things in our village that could be improved. And instead of always complaining about it, I have decided to roll up my sleeves and help by getting involved firsthand. My vested interest in Villa Park, as well as my 15-plus years of mechanical experience, bookkeeping, budgeting, and drafting contracts would be a positive impact to enhance the village board. In previous employment, I have solved financial problems, bill collected, held a team leader role in customer service, and worked alongside attorney offices reviewing legal and bankruptcy documents. I held a vice president and president title for District 4 PTA when I lived in Addison prior to moving to Villa Park. I started and headed a non-for-profit fundraiser in my church community for a family whose child was battling with leukemia. If elected, I will work alongside the board members, village staff, and residents to implement a better communication and response time system. Work towards bringing in different types of development, both big and small businesses, refine ordinances, permit rules and regulations to be more homeowner friendly, and strengthen staffing of our fire and police departments to continue to keep our community safe. I have attended all of the village board meetings over the last 8 months, coffee with the board, and some committee meetings as well. The combination of my skills, experiences, willingness to talk, listen, and speak up for the residents' concerns makes me the best candidate for Villa Park Village Trustee. Please vote for me, and thank you for your time.
Thank you, Tina. Now we will go from Villa Park to Lombard. District 3, Bernie Dudek.
First, I want to thank you for welcoming us out-of-towners here tonight. I think I speak for everybody. We've heard lovely things about Villa Park, so it's very nice to actually be here. My name is Bernie Dudek, and I'm running for re-election as trustee of District 3 in Lombard. During the past 4 years, I've learned just how vital it is to our residents that we have competent, experienced, nonpartisan, independent elected officials who work tirelessly for the village of Lombard and for all of our neighbors equally. So how did I get here? My wife and I moved to Lombard in 2001, shortly after our twins were born, for the same reasons I suspect most young couples do. A house, a chance to build a better life, safe neighborhoods, great parks, exceptional schools, new neighbors and friends, community. Lombard checked every box on our scorecard and so many more. And it was the right choice because 24 years later, we're still here. I became a trustee by accident, really. A large portion of my career was spent producing documentaries for National Geographic, History, CNBC, among many others. I learned I like to ask questions and I like to understand how things work. I began attending village meetings in 2013 when my neighborhood united to oppose a major development. It was inspiring to see our collective voices influencing local decisions and steering the processes. It was also my introduction to the village staff and how dedicated and professional they are. Not to mention just how much work and effort goes on behind the scenes at Village Hall every day that we never think about and often take for granted. In 2021, I figured that as a former documentary producer who likes to ask questions, running for trustee would be a unique opportunity to learn and guide how our village operates. And I have to say the past 4 years have been eye-opening. I've learned so much and continue to learn more every day. The challenges of being one of the largest non-home rule communities in the state, balancing our $131 million budget, creating strategic plans, and the wonderful daily interactions with residents and staff as we try to make Lombard a better place for everyone is what makes the position so worthwhile. As trustee, I will engage directly with neighbors to address concerns, encourage business development, ensure the safety and security of all residents, add more green space to District 3, which we sorely need, promote transparency, encourage bicycle and pedestrian safety throughout the village, increase hotel-motel tax revenues, oversee collective bargaining efforts, and balance the budget as we've successfully done these past 4 years. I'm proud to represent our community, our vibrant and diverse community of 44,000 residents, and I feel the best is yet to come. There are currently more than 60 major projects occurring throughout the village, and many of those are happening in District 3. Perhaps the most exciting one for me is the revitalization occurring right now at Yorktown Center. I'm proud to help oversee this multifaceted $250 million renovation that will transform our venerable shopping mall into a residential and entertainment hub, complete with new restaurants, tenants, townhomes, apartments, and a grocery store, as well as a 2-acre public green space, and much more. The economic impact will be enormous, and I want very much to see this project to completion. A non-home rule village like Lombard needs to maximize sales and property taxes to balance the budget, and this will be a big piece of that puzzle for years to come. Thank you for the privilege and honor of being a Lombard trustee, and I look forward to your questions.
Thank you, Bernie. Next up is Dr. Omar Haq.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, everyone. May the peace and blessings of God be upon all of you. I'm going to take this off. My name is Omar Haq. I'm a dentist at Oakbrook Smiles, and I've been there for 21 years, small business owner. And I've been someone that's been coming to Islamic Foundation since I came to Chicagoland in 2002 to marry my wife, Siraj. And I'm standing literally in perhaps the same place where we used to sit and listen to Sheikh Amin give his tafsir classes back in the day. It's amazing how things come around full circle. I'm not just a candidate and a business owner and a musalli here. I've been a dedicated public servant for a long time. I've been a scoutmaster for about a decade here in Chicagoland. I have been with Bernie for the last 2 years on the Community Promotions and Tourism Committee in Lombard. And I'm running for trustee because I really feel like we need a voice. After what happened on October 7th and the results thereafter, when we went to the village of Lombard and asked for a ceasefire resolution, we did get 3 wonderful statements out of the village, but it took a lot of effort. And we saw a big difference in certain other villages where we had some representation, and I want to change that. I've been involved with that. I've also graduated the 3 Citizens Academies in Lombard, the Fire, Police, and Public Works Academies, and I'm currently a member of the Lombard Citizens Police Academy Alumni Association. It's a lot of words, LCPAAA. They do a lot of cool stuff, such as cruise nights. It's a lot of fun. Come to downtown Lombard. It's a blast. You know, on our committee that we're on, we're also involved with taking tax dollars from hotels and redistributing it to a lot of great events that happen in Lombard, such as the Lilac Parade, the Farmers Market, the Arts and Crafts Fair, the Halloween Spectacular, Candy Cane Lane. But I will just point out, if you get a chance, come to the Lilac Parade. It is such a wonderful event that brings the entire village together. It brings a lot of fun and festivity, and it really helps us highlight the diverse population of Lombard. We all know about Roosevelt Road. It's packed. Tons of great restaurants, tons of chai shops. Sorry, Villa Park, you'll get some, I promise you. It is amazing how many restaurants, how many halal places have opened in the last decade. 30 seconds, I'm gonna finish. A few things I'm hoping for. Expanding and supporting small businesses, revitalizing our downtown, improving infrastructure, and enhancing community engagement. It's a diverse, growing village. It deserves leadership that reflects all of that. I want to be a voice for all of you. So please vote for me. Let me put up a yard sign in your house. Get out the vote, door knock, everything. VoteHuck.com. Thank you.
Thank you, Marai. Next, we got Derek Cantu, District 4.
All right, thank you everyone, and again, thank you so much for dedicating your Tuesday night to coming out here. So my name is Derek Cantu, and I am a candidate for Village Trustee in Lombard for District 4. And you know, I firmly believe that an important characteristic of a competent trustee is someone who approaches decision-making with an analytical mind. If you think about it, a lot of the policies and ordinances that are passed by local governments, for the most part, impact our daily lives a lot more directly than anything that's passed out of, say, Springfield. And because of that, I believe a good trustee is somebody who looks at new ideas with thought focus, with a healthy level of discernment. And that's what I've done in my professional life for the last 10 years. I'm a policy researcher by trade. I'm a policy analyst. And every time in my profession, I've always approached it with that mindset of a healthy level of discernment. For example, when I worked in the Illinois Lieutenant Governor's office, and when I was advising the former Lieutenant Governor on various issues of education policy. I used that mindset when I was a journalist, when I was working for NPR. Hopefully you can tell by my really soothing voice. I did research because I was covering the Illinois State House. I did research, I did my homework, and looking at these various measures buried in these omnibus bills that are being debated on at 4 o'clock in the morning, and trying to determine how are they going to impact taxpayers. And I use it now in my current profession as a policy analyst for a national nonpartisan nonprofit organization, where I analyze, where I research, and I even write articles on legislative proposals being debated on in state chambers throughout the Midwestern region. I want to take those skills that I've learned at assessing state policy, and I want to use them in the local level, where it really matters. Because Lombard is a community I really love. I wasn't born there, I chose there. Lombard is where my wife and I chose to buy our first house. Lombard is where we chose to raise our newborn son because we love this community, where we really feel connected. It's a community that embraces its diversity and its multicultural identity. It's a community that also possesses these quaint communal spaces like Lackawanna Park, but at the same time also possesses these large corporate parks where businesses from across the country and entrepreneurs can try it out here. And I want to continue that. If elected, I want to be part of that team of village trustees who are continuing to make Lombard an incredibly attractive community for young families like mine and for businesses to call Lombard home. So I thank you so much again to the Islamic Foundation for putting this together, for engaging in the civic participation. I thank you for coming out here. If you want to learn more about me, you can visit my website. It's can24lombard.com, and I look forward to your questions. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Derek. Last we have Patrick Egan, District 4 Lombard.
Good evening, fellow candidates, friends, neighbors. My name is Patrick Egan, and I'm running for Village Trustee because I love Lombard. I want to see it thrive. I've called Lombard my home my entire life, and over the years I have seen how strong leadership and community involvement can make a real difference. I spent over 30 years serving our schools, working for the Lombard Elementary School District 44 as custodian, a maintenance worker, and facilities manager. That experience gave me a deep understanding of the importance of maintaining our public spaces, ensuring safe roads, and investing in the infrastructure that works for everyone. I know what it takes to keep a community running smoothly, and I want to bring that knowledge to the village board. Beyond my career, I dedicated my time to volunteering with organizations like PADS, the Boy Scouts, and my local church, St. Paul Lutheran. I believe in the power of service, and that's exactly what I want to bring to our local government. Service rooted in ethics, transparency, and respect for the residents of Lombard. As a trustee, I will work to ensure that our infrastructure is well maintained, that our police and fire protection services have the resources that they need to keep us safe, and that we make responsible decisions about the growth and development. Most importantly, I will be an advocate for transparency, open communication, making sure that every resident's voice is heard. I'm not a career politician. I'm a community member, a public servant, and someone who truly cares about his village. I believe in ethical leadership, responsible government, and a commitment to service. I ask you for your support. Together we can make Lombard an even better place to live. Thank you, and I look forward to earning your vote.
Thank you, Patrick. Last up we had Dr. Shahabuddin. He is out sick. He sent his greetings. He apologized for not being here. And we have our sister is going to read the message. She sent a message, she's going to read that message on its behalf. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Well, my name is Rani Al-Kazib. I actually know many of you from both towns from the past year or so for the ceasefire efforts. And I'm also currently in the running for Lombard Village Clerk. Unfortunately, Dr. Shahabuddin, trustee candidate for Lombard District 3, could not make it today. I would like to read his message to you. IFS Town Hall, salam and greetings. Thank you to IFS for arranging this forum. It's a much needed space and something the community has needed. I responded the first day I knew it was taking place. I have had a personal emergency that didn't allow me to be here tonight, but I look forward to engaging with all residents of Lombard. I am committing to getting more voices heard in local politics and being your voice on issues affecting all of us. I'm committed to making Lombard a safe and beautiful place for all of us to raise our families. I look forward to engaging with all of you before April 1st and ask for your support. Please reach out with any questions or comments. And he left a phone number, 872-888-2444. If you want to connect, please reach out.
Thank you, Sister Rania. So we'll take a quick, so we have a few candidates who are here. Unfortunately, we don't have time for each one of them to speak, but what I'd like to do is have them stand up, recognize them. We have your township candidates, James Caring. We have Rosa Messner. We have Andy Sutherland. Angie, sorry. We have Joe Moore. We have Erin Payton. And we have Mubashir for Addison Township, Mubashir Ashrafi. Thank you. Thank you all for taking the time, I appreciate it. With that, we'll get to the question and answers. For the first question, we'll take the Willow Park residents. It will be to you first. I'll start with you, Jorge, and the same question will come to you next, Kevin. So the topic is the gambling and alcohol. The question is, what is your stance on issuing new gambling and alcohol licenses in our town? How will you consider the concerns of religious communities when making these decisions?
Hello, thank you. So it's gaming and alcohol. So we have liquor licenses. So if you own a bar or a restaurant and you want to serve or pour, you come in for a multitude of different types of liquor licenses. On top of that, when you get a liquor license in Illinois, you have the opportunity to get a gaming license, which gives you the opportunity to have up to 6 machines in your facility. What we have access to maintaining and offering are the liquor licenses. So first and foremost, depending on the type of business you are, we will allow you or not allow you because we have background checks. There are rules and regulations that you have to pass in order to get this liquor license. So if you're able to get that, they come to us and they say, can we have a liquor license? Depending on the type of liquor license you get, you can also apply for a gaming license in Illinois. So that is out of our governance, out of our purview. So what happens is you get a liquor license from your municipality, you take that down to the state, you get another background check, and then they give you the opportunity to run gaming. 2 things here. Number 1, the biggest piece for us is revenue. There's a very large revenue backing to having gaming in some of these facilities. Some of these facilities just have gaming, and yes, I am kind of against those standalone type of businesses that just have gaming. For a restaurant or bar in town, gaming actually gives them a lifeline to increase the revenue to stay open. A lot of businesses during COVID have struggled. It's 90 seconds, I apologize. I will wrap it, give me a second. So there's 2 aspects, and there's only 3 ways to increase your revenue in a municipality. You either increase your taxes, increase your revenue somehow, or, those are the only 2 ways essentially. So what we're looking to do in Village Park is increase our revenue until we have a solid base, but we are open, at least I am open, to understanding the intricacies of having gaming in town. So if it's a rule, if it's an ordinance that we have to pass, I am willing and more than happy to bring that to our residents for a vote on a ballot or as a resolution. So, thank you.
Excuse me, sorry about that. So first of all, I think it's really important that we balance a business's rights with the values of our community. I'd like to think that over the 6 years that I have been a trustee, that I've always made it my priority to make sure the residents have a voice and that they're also heard, especially when it pertains to liquor licensing. But most importantly, I just really think that it's the best thing that we could do is to promote the well-being of our community and also include our religious institutions in that as well. That's all I have.
Thank you, gentlemen. We have one more candidate that I did not announce, Rolf Lacani. Thank you, Rolf, for coming. Just right in my hand. All right, with that, we will give 90 seconds for response time. So with that, next question is coming to Deepa and Greg. The question is, how do you plan to engage with the local Muslim community and ensure our voices are included in the decision-making process? 90 seconds, please.
The truth is, the local community is already my friend. We've gotten together to put together a ceasefire agreement. Much of this community came out, and we know we spent hours and hours to do a positive job of getting that out and moving it up to the next level. It's very important that we understand the pain and suffering that came with putting that together. There was a lot of people in this community that, their identity was being looked at in a different way just because they were not belonging to what is considered the typical person. And I would never stand for that. So I will definitely be reaching out. I have a tendency to reach out more to my sisters than my brothers. So I will definitely be reaching out to all of my sisters at any time when I think there's a concern that is typical for a family of our nature. Thank you.
So I know I don't know, most of the folks in this community, and all I'll say is that, I will be happy to connect and get to know all of you and hear about what your needs are. Though I've been involved in, Christian churches for most of my adult life, the fact of the matter is, we are also very involved in the community and do what we can to help anybody in town and anybody in the local communities with whatever needs there are, and if there are things that we can partner with to help build a park, in Lombard even, we are open to that, and I'm personally open to that. So, like I said, I don't know a ton of people personally right now, but I'm ready to build those relationships if I become trustee. Thank you.
Thank you, Deepa and Greg. The next question is for JP and Jack. The question is, what steps will you take to promote religious and cultural inclusion within our city policies, events, and public spaces? JP, I'll ask you to come up here first, please.
Well, I think the most important thing is to have people in the community on the commissions and on the board that represent the Islamic community. So I think with that is how you establish relations with the cultures, any culture in this town, is that you have to have representation in leadership positions and decision-making decisions. That's all I have for that question.
This forum is a great example of what we need to do to bring inclusion in. What we're doing exactly right here tonight. And this is the first, hopefully, of a long tradition of this happening in our town. JP's right. What we need to do is involve the foundation and its members, its brothers and sisters, into our government. It is my absolute goal that somebody from the foundation runs for office in the next election in 2 years. In that pursuit, I want to see as many people from the foundation in joint commissions, because that's how things work their way through the process. We've got the Fund Commission that has events going on all the time. It would be great to have various members of the foundation in the Fund Commission and bring up ideas and run parallel and run events together. I would love to see Villa Park events here, sponsored in part by the foundation, sponsored in part by Villa Park. We need stuff like that. I would like to see just people from the foundation coming to our meetings. I want to see all of you in the back watching our meetings, speaking up at public comments, writing letters to us. This is how we all come together, because we are one community. It's not us and them, it's just all of us. So, thank you.
Thank you, JP and Jack. Next, I'm going to Steve and Tina. The question is, how will you address Islamophobia, discrimination, or hate crimes against Muslims in our community? Steve, I'll ask you to go first.
Okay, Islamophobia. Imagine that. Fear of religion. That's a topic that a lot of people stay away from. But I think it has to be addressed head on. It cannot be diluted, because you have to embrace all the rights of all the people all of the time. You cannot make exceptions. You cannot divide and conquer. You cannot elevate one over another. I think that's what our Constitution should stand for, despite the interpretations that a lot of people are trying to move it towards today. So I've been a lifelong advocate of embracing people of all denominations, all sexual roles. It's people's choice. And I know that it doesn't conform to some of your religious practices, but I believe that everybody has to choose their own religion and how they live their lives with their religion. Because I don't want somebody to tell me how to act with my God. And that's what I would act on. Thank you.
Thank you for the question. I'm not going to pretend to know what it's like to have somebody have a hate crime towards me, but I think I can say that the first step is you have invited me, and I am here and have accepted. This is our community, and you are just as much part of our community as everybody else is. I would like to sit on the board and be united with everybody. If I needed to, and if the time arose, I would come to anything you have to offer and support you with that. And be willing to learn what you are going through and what is being said and what is being done and how can I help you. because, quite honestly, I'm going to say I'm ignorant to it because I was not raised around it. But I'm always willing to learn, listen, and speak up for not just certain types of people in our community, but for all of our community as a whole. So that's the best I can answer that. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Tina. Thank you, Steve. Next up, I'm going to Lombard now. Dr. Shahabudin is not here, so this question will be just for you, Bernie. Support for religious rights. Do you support policies that protect religious freedom, such as accommodation for prayer, halal food options in public institutions, and recognizing Muslim holidays? Please.
All right, thank you for that question. So I think part of that question is outside of the scopes of a trustee's responsibilities. What we can do is offer up the village hall as a refuge for prayer. Dr. Hack made reference earlier to the ceasefire discussions that we had with the community. And I do want to point out a little bit of the process that went into that. We spent about 2 months meeting with community, with neighbors. We met at the Village Hall, we met in homes, we met in businesses. We had many discussions, and that all took place during Ramadan. And accommodations were made does not sound like the way I want to say that. I mean, the point was to make everybody feel welcome and feel comfortable. And that also happened during our trustee meetings when people would be in the audience. We would set aside time and areas so that everybody could feel welcome. And for me personally, I cannot stress enough the value that I find in diversity, and regardless of your religious decisions, religious if you're anything. Sorry, I'm not great at this part of the process, but I believe that religion, gender, sexuality, all of that it's what makes us unique and what makes a community. And I've spent the last 4 years, we've had social justice groups that we've worked with, not just from the Muslim community, but other groups as well. And that's very important to me and to the current makeup of the board right now. And I don't ever see a time when that changes. Pardon my ramble there.
Thank you, sir. Next question is for Derek Cantu and Patrick Egan. Will you support and encourage Muslim representation in local government, commissions, and leadership positions? Derek, I'll ask you to go first.
Yeah, first of all, short answer, absolutely. You know, one of the things that I learned that, a lot of us first-time candidates got the chance, and I love that Lombard does this, they offer a candidate orientation. And so we got to learn a little bit about, for those of us who are going to be elected, what is the job going to entail? And part of the job of being a village trustee in Lombard is that you do get to chair or co-chair one of your different committees and whatnot that's going to be working on issues like economic development, like public safety, like community outreach. And so yeah, having more of that representation from obviously the community members that we have in Lombard, where we see it already, we see it in the restaurants, there's so many halal grill restaurants in Lombard, we see, Muslim daycares, and we see Muslim Montessori schools. I want to see more of that representation on our committees and stuff, and if I have the chance to chair one of those, I'm going to be able to reach out to communities like this and communities in other places in Lombard and be like, how can we get people involved? Because I'm a person that wasn't involved before, I'm getting involved now in a new way as a village trustee. I want to make sure everybody in the community has that, brings those unique perspectives to the village. Thank you.
Absolutely. I'm going to repeat the question to Patrick. Will you support and encourage Muslim representation in the local government, commissions, and leadership positions?
Yeah, my answer to that question would be absolutely. As Derek was saying, the candidate orientation in Lombard, they urged us as trustees to supervise the committees. You don't run the committees. The committee is run by the committee people. And so I would urge everybody in Lombard and Villa Park to become involved, to get involved in your community, get involved in your city government, and take advantage of the opportunities that are out there. Put yourself out there. It's not easy. I'll be the first one to tell you this is not the easiest thing I've ever done. But I think it will pay benefits for myself, for the community, for everybody. Thank you.
All right, almost 7:24 here. The last question that we have a few handwritten questions as well. Unfortunately, I don't think we'll have time to get through them. But the last question that I have is for Dr. Omar Haq, community safety and well-being. Dr. Haq, what measures will you take to ensure the safety and well-being of Muslim residents, especially in the places of worship and community centers?
Public safety is something that I really am a big proponent for. You know, ever since the events that happened in Christchurch in New Zealand, that changed me, honestly. It made me realize, it woke me up and made me realize I need to be able to protect my family, protect my place of worship, protect my business. Before that, I used to be very anti-gun. And after that, I decided it's time to learn how to defend myself. I started taking classes on self-defense. I started getting involved with, getting a concealed carry license, which is something I never thought I would do when I was younger. And I do believe that every masjid, every church, every synagogue should be able to defend themselves by the time 911 shows up. By the time our police forces or fire show up, you have a few minutes. And those minutes are critical. And I do believe that it's very important for us to not only be able to defend ourselves, but also be able to depend on our public services. Our police and fire in Lombard are phenomenal. And we actually utilize the resources of Village Park often as well. All the villages and towns work together here, and it's amazing. It really is, and I have nothing but respect for our heroes in the police and fire department and in the EMS services. They are awesome, and I have nothing but gratitude and appreciation for them, and happy to support all efforts for public safety.
Hello again, everyone. Well, it was an absolute pleasure, not only to see all of you guys come out, but also to get to know each and every single one of you guys. Because, as you know, we generally do not have the time to consider most outside of our family, outside of our work. But when you come to a place like this and you hear that there are these people right here in our own towns and communities who are taking on not only their family life, not only their jobs and businesses, not only their day-to-day activities to be more involved on their own, but actually coming out here to be more involved than any of us can imagine it takes sometimes. Because going out, running for politics, even though there's such a stigma about it all, they took their time, they took their effort, and they decided that they want to do something more with everything that they've been given. So I really would like each and every single one of you to join me in thanking them for coming out here tonight and letting us get to know them. I'd like to once again thank the IFS board for allowing us to come and do this event tonight. And I would also like to thank each and every single one of the you people in our audience one more time for being here on a Tuesday night. It's the middle of the week, and we all have other things to do, but you know how important this is, and we know that your voice matters not only here, but at your own homes, with your family, with your friends, and especially from now until April 1st, when you're making your vote. So let me take this time to ask for a hand for the audience as well. I'd also like to thank our brother Junaid, who was able to be our MC tonight, even though it was a very last second asking of him, but thank you again for that. I'd like to let each and every one of you know that there are also you have received them, the forms to let each of you know which candidates are which programs they're going to be running for, which elections they're running for. And I'd like to make sure that you guys all remember, what's the last day to vote? April 1st. Thank you very much.
I don't know. Q&A. Handed it. I think we handed it. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Doctor, I'm going on. Hey, Jack.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد اللهم صل على محمد